Welcome. Now it's time to go back to the past. If for a moment you think that going back to past experiences is going to create a negative emotion for you, well, just know this. That negative emotion is already expressing itself within you at a deep subconscious level, and that negative emotion will express itself in the future subconsciously that you don't even see it, and it is the block. So if you think it's painful going back there, it is painful living with that subconscious, memorized, deep belief within you, because it is going to determine your future. Because that's how, remember, the left brain works. It works in a linear fashion. Past pain, future pain, past pain, future pain. But we're going to collapse that now. So let's get right in there and start to collapse that. The friend that you thought of in the last session, who was that? Just write their name down. What age did you go back to? Just write that down for me. Now, we're going to get you to keep your eyes closed in a moment. We're going to do a breath exercise. And in that breath exercise, we're going to bring you back and we're going to reflect on your guardians. So I call them your early morning influencers, the people that raised you in your life. So I will guide you and help you through that. In doing that, I want you to first consider these words here. So just remember these. You don't have to remember them all. I just want you to follow me as I read them and repeat them to yourself as I read them. Rude, abusive, judgmental, emotionally closed, addicted, violent, angry, argumentative, mean, vulgar, physically absent. That means that they weren't there. The parent wasn't there. They were busy somewhere else. Lazy. Just remember those for a moment. That's all we're going to do. So let's do this now. Let's go into experiencing the quantum affirmation collapse process. I'm actually going to do it with you right here, right now. So close your eyes and we're going to do the breath exercise. So sit with your eyes closed and press your glutes into the seat. Roll your shoulders forward, roll your shoulders backwards, create a proud chest. Allow your chin to just tilt slightly towards your chest. And as you breathe in with your eyes closed in a moment, through your nose, make sure that you breathe in really, really deeply and hold your breath in and just listen to my questions. This is how we perform the quantum affirmation collapse process. So here we go. Glutes into the seat, shoulders forward, shoulders back, chin slightly to the chest, eyes closed, and breathe in through your nose right now. And keep breathing in really deeply. And hold that breath in. And we'll hold it in and we're going to count to 20. So now start counting. And make sure you keep your mind in your mind. Don't let it go anywhere else. Just keep it in the center of your head. And now breathe out through your mouth. Okay, we're going to repeat that again. Now don't open your eyes until we get to the end of the exercise. And do your breath again. In through your nose, hold your breath, keep it in, count to 20. And as you do, I just want you to see yourself standing on the edge of an ocean, on a vast beach. And just be standing on that beach. And breathe out through your mouth. And just listen to me for a moment. I want you to see your friend. I want you to see what you're doing with your friend. Are you indoors or outdoors? And now your friend's going to ask you a question. Make sure you get ready for the question. The first question is this. Your friend asks you, was your mum in the family group growing up? If not, who was your female influencer? That's the first question. So you answer your friend and see yourself answering your friend. Second question, your friend asks you, was your dad in the family group growing up? Or if not your dad, who was your male influencer? So they're called your female and your male. And just reflect the answer on that. Now keep your eyes closed and keep them closed and just see your friend again. See what color hair they have and see what you guys are doing. Now your friend's going to ask you a question. Here's the next question. They ask you, that female, what was their most positive trait? Were they loving, caring, attentive, supportive, provider, encourager, creative, driven, focused, real? What were they for you? Now go back to your friend. Just think of that word regards your female. Now go back to your friend, and your friend asks you, what was the male in your life? Could have been your dad. What was his most positive trait? And you just answer that. Was he strong, a provider, loving, caring, supportive, creative? What was it for you? Does a word just describe it? That's it. Just keep moving on. Do not let your mind wander. Now, I want you to come back again to your friend. See your friend again. See the color of their hair. See what you guys are doing. And see the clothes they're wearing. See that? Now your friend asks you a question. First question is, what was your mum or female influencer's most negative trait or characteristic? Was she rude, judgmental? Was she loving but weak to your dad, weak to other people, didn't stand up for you? There was something. Reflect on that. Now, think about that. And now, let's go back to your friend again. With your friend now, I want you to go back and your friend's going to ask you a question. And the friend says, what is your dad's most negative trait? Was his most negative trait? And think of that. Or the male influencer in your life. Were they rude, addicted, abusive, negative? What was it for you? Think about that. And now, just come back to me and open your eyes. Now, amongst those two traits that you experienced there, what was the most negative of both? And think of that most negative trait of both. And reflect on that for a moment. And now write that negative trait down for yourself. So what was that negative trait? When this parent was doing this, how did it make you feel? How did you deal with that? How did that make you feel? What was that emotional feeling? Did you feel neglected, unworthy, afraid, scared, broke, incapable, not good enough? There was something. Write them down. How did you feel when that was going on for you? Next, how did you deal with this feeling that was going on for you? Did you rebel? Did you just go to your room? And if you did go to your room, what did you do there? Did you read? Did you just think? Did you just calm your emotions? Did you watch videos? What were you doing? Something in there would have helped you to be creative, creating an alternate reality. Or did you see who you don't want to be? Were you learning how not to live? There was something in there for you. Make sure you find that. Did you comfort a parent when this was going on, when this negative parent was being negative, maybe not towards you, but towards other people? What did you do? Did you comfort a parent in their time of need? Or if somebody made you feel that you're not doing this good enough, you need to try harder, did you try harder? So what do people who try harder do? Well, they learn how to work harder. They learn how to perform. They learn how to perfect. So they learn how to not be lazy. So there's lots of positive things that happened when this negativity was going on. Or did you go somewhere else? So I hear this a lot through the years. I'm told, I left my home, I just came home late. I didn't run away from home. I came home late. I went to a friend's house and the friend's mum was really loving and caring. And I learned what it was like to live in a great family environment. I learned, I hung out with my sports teacher. My sports teacher helped me stay back after school for sports. And I learned from my sports teacher some great traits and characteristics. Something in there for you. Make sure that you find that. You need to really dig deep in there and find this thing. Did you stand up to your parent, to the other person? Did you comfort your siblings? If you comforted your siblings or you stood up to a parent, what were you being right then? If you told them that, hey, this isn't good enough. Well, right then you were being a leader. Right then you knew there might be a consequence to that. And if there was a consequence to you standing up to your parent, but you done it anyway, or if you rebelled, or if you escaped from home and came home late and you knew there was going to be punishment, but you done it anyway, well then what is that trait called? And this is really important. That is called resilience. So you became resilient. So every negativity gave you a negative feeling. You acted in accordance with that negative feeling to deal with that negative feeling, which developed within you a characteristic. And now you're starting to find those characteristics. Now you need to write these characteristics down here. And here's some. Strong, did you become strong, persistent, brave? Were you learning to be a leader? Were you learning to be honest? Were you becoming determined? Were you getting clear? Were you becoming independent? Were you becoming purposeful? Were you becoming creative? Were you becoming an achiever? Were you becoming a perfectionist? Something was in there for you, and make sure you reflect on that. So now, the idea is this. What were you learning from this negative experience? And make sure you write that down. So those negative experiences taught you a life lesson, a very, very important life lesson. And now in our next lesson, we'll get deeper and deeper and deeper into the quantum affirmation collapse process, and I'll see you in the next lesson.